I've always been fascinated by the unknown. I've always been interested in the mysterious, hidden and whispered stories of worlds beyond our knowledge. Because of my fixation, I had to go through something for myself. That's when I chose to play with a Ouija board. I wasn't ready for what happened next. 5 encounters that still bother me today. What happened is what I'm going to tell you. Trust me, you can't really close the door again once you open it to the other side. Number 1. The unwelcome guest. When my friends and I first got the Ouija board out, it was a rainy night. Outside, the wind howled, shaking the old cabin's windows as we slept for the weekend. Out of the 5 of us, only 3 were brave enough to touch the planchette. I was suspicious, of course. How could a simple board call spirits? After a few minutes of random moves, the planchette suddenly jerked. None of us admitted to pushing it, but we all felt the sudden energy shift in the room. The temperature dropped quickly and the candles flickered fiercely. "Who are you?" one of my friends asked, her voice shaking. The planchette moved quickly. ZOSO. I felt a chill run down my spine. I had heard of this creature before, Zoso, an evil spirit known to torment those who dare call it. We quickly tried to end the session, but the planchette wouldn't move to goodbye. Suddenly, there was a loud bang from the kitchen. The drawers had flung open, and things were being thrown across the room by invisible hands. My friend screamed as the light started to blink and the temperature dropped even further. I could see my breath now, clouding the air in front of me. We ran out of the cabin, leaving everything behind, including the Ouija board. For days, I had terrible nightmares about that night. Dreams where Zoso would visit me, saying in my ear, "You've let me in." The feeling of being watched never left. Even today, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, certain that there's someone in my room, watching. Number 2, the disappearing friend. The second time I used a Ouija board was less of a choice and more of an urge. My curiosity got the better of me, and this time, it was just me and my best friend Chloe. We had heard of someone in our town who disappeared after using a Ouija board, and we wanted to see if we could call them. I know it sounds stupid now, but back then we felt invincible. We lit candles, darkened the lights, and sat cross-legged on my living room floor. As soon as our fingers touched the planchette, the room felt heavy. We asked if anyone was there, and it instantly moved to yes. "Who are we speaking to?" Chloe asked. The board spelled out HELP. "Are you the person who disappeared?" YES. My heart raced. The lost person had been gone for over 6 months, and no sign of them had ever been found. I asked, "Where are you?" The board didn't react for a moment, and then it slowly spelled out INTHEWALL. Chloe and I froze. I thought it was a terrible joke, but I saw the fear in her eyes. "Which wall?" I asked hesitantly. Suddenly, there was a loud knock. 3 sharp bangs rang through the room, coming from the wall behind us. We jumped up, looking at the spot in horror. The knocking continued, louder and more urgent. Chloe screamed, and we both ran out of the house, leaving the Ouija board behind. I never saw Chloe again after that night. She disappeared without a trace, just like the person we had been trying to call. Her family searched, the cops got involved, but there was nothing. No tips, no hints. The only thing I know for certain is that Chloe is still out there somewhere, maybe like the board said in the wall. Number 3, the distant voice. I had sworn never to touch a Ouija board again, but a year after the incident with Chloe, I found myself drawn to it once more. This time, I was alone. I don't know why I did it. Maybe I wanted answers, maybe I was trying to find peace. But one thing was certain. I was still haunted by Chloe's absence. I sat in my room, the board in front of me, lights creating strange shadows on the walls. As I put my hands on the planchette, I felt a strange feeling like buzzing in the air. "Is anyone there?" I whispered. For a long time, there was nothing. Then slowly the planchette began to move. It spelled out CHLOE. My breath caught in my throat. Chloe, is this you? YES. I asked where she was, and the planchette spelled out a single word. HELP. The lights flickered, and suddenly I heard a voice. It was weak, almost like a faraway whisper, but it was definitely Chloe's voice. Help me. I'm stuck. My heart pounded as I jumped. Just like before, the voice looked to be coming from the walls. I frantically called out to her, but the voice grew fainter and fainter until it was completely gone. The board went still, and no matter how much I tried, I couldn't get another reaction. I haven't touched a Ouija board since that night, but sometimes late at night, I swear I can still hear Chloe's voice, faint, far away, and begging for help. Number 4. The Haunting of Room 13. This happened when I stayed at a small old hotel during a road trip. The hotel was nearly empty, and I was given a room on the 13th floor. It was strange because I thought hotels didn't have a 13th floor. When I mentioned it to the secretary, she gave me a weird look and said, "We do here." That night, I found an old worn-out Ouija board in the closet of my room. My interest sparked, and against my better sense, I chose to use it. I lit a lamp, turned off the lights, and put the board on the bed. As soon as I touched the planchette, I felt an enormous sense of dread. But I continued. "Is anyone here?" I asked. The planchette moved quickly. YES. "Who are you?" DEATH. I froze. Before I could ask anything else, the temperature in the room dropped, and the light went out. The darkness was stifling, and I could feel a presence, something cold and malicious. I tried to move the planchette to goodbye, but it wouldn't budge. Suddenly, the door to my room slammed shut and the lights flashed on and off. I grabbed the board and threw it into the closet. That's when I noticed the mirror. Written in hazy letters were the words, "You're next." I didn't sleep that night. I left the hotel as soon as the sun came up, and I've never gone back. But even now, I have dreams about that room and the spirit I called. It's waiting for me, and I'm afraid that one day it'll come to collect. Number 5. The Shadow. The final story isn't just mine. It belongs to my group of friends who chose to tempt fate one last time. We met at an old abandoned house on the edges of town, a place believed to be haunted. Of course, the Ouija board was with us. We sat in the middle of the dusty living room, the only light coming from a few glowing candles. As we put our fingers on the planchette, the air grew thick, and an unsettling feeling fell over us. "Is anyone here?" I asked. The board replied immediately, "Yes." "Who are you?" SHADOW. We all traded nervous looks. "What do you want?" YOU. The planchette moved faster and faster, writing out strange words that we couldn't make sense of. Then suddenly all the lights went out, sending us into full darkness. In the pitch-black room, we heard footsteps. They were slow and careful, moving closer and closer. My heart pounded in my chest as I fumbled for my phone to turn on the lights. When I finally did, I saw it. A dark person standing in the doorway. It had no discernible features, just a tall, looming figure. And it was watching us. We screamed and ran, leaving everything behind. To this day, I don't know what that shadow was or what it wanted, but I can feel it. Sometimes, when I'm alone, I sense it hiding just out of sight, waiting for the right moment to resurface. These stories are not just tales, they're warnings. Playing with the Ouija board is not a game. Each time I thought I could handle the situation, I was wrong. You never know what you're bringing into your life. And once you open the door, there's no going back.